At 3:14 a.m., a signal blinked, once, from the heart of the Indian Ocean. A ghost pulse, too weak to track, too specific to ignore. The coordinates matched a sector investigators thought was empty. But it wasn't empty, it was silent. After nearly a decade of theories, satellite reconstructions, and fragments of wreckage washed ashore, a new piece of data surfaced. One that, according to internal logs, shouldn't exist. Was this the first digital echo of flight MH370 since it vanished? Or something else entirely? And why did Malaysia go quiet when it appeared? A retired satellite technician noticed it first. A routine maintenance scan picking up a stray Inmarsat handshake, one that looked eerily similar to the pings logged the night the Boeing 777 disappeared. But this one was newer, from a direction no one expected. If that's true, it would mean that, for a brief instant, the missing flight, or a relay mimicking it, spoke again. And then, nothing. Before we dig into what this signal could mean, and why the Malaysian authorities have avoided comment since, pause for just a moment. This channel dives deep into cases like this, the ones that bend logic, where data meets mystery. If you're drawn to evidence, contradiction, and unanswered transmissions, then join this investigation. Subscribe, like, and, most importantly, tell us your theory in the comments. Because with MH370, every perspective counts. It began on an ordinary night, March 8, 2014. Malaysia Airlines, Flight 370, a Boeing 777 carrying 239 people, lifted into the humid air, bound for Beijing. For the first 38 minutes, everything was routine. Clear skies, steady climb. Then, at 1:21 a.m., the signal vanished. Good night, Malaysian 370. Then silence. Controllers thought it was a handover glitch, a routine switch between radars. But moments later, military arrays caught something else. A new trace, same size, same speed, turning sharply west, back across Malaysia, back toward the darkness. No call for help, no mayday, just a silent course reversal that no one saw coming. As it crossed the Straits of Malacca, ground radar lost it again. For a moment, the aircraft ceased to exist, and in that absence, a mystery was born. Hours later, satellite analysts uncovered faint handshakes, brief digital exchanges between the aircraft and an orbiting Inmarsat network. Not voice, not radar, just data. Whispers between machine and sky. Those pings became the only evidence MH370 was still flying, each one narrowing the circle, each one pushing the search farther south, into the loneliest water on Earth. The southern Indian Ocean, a place so vast it hides mountains taller than Everest. Over the next 3 years, ships mapped 120,000 square kilometers of seabed, the largest search in aviation history. They found ridges, trenches, geological scars, but not the plane. By 2017, the mission was declared over. The world moved on, until a recent discovery, deep beneath the same waters, forced Malaysia to go quiet again. Because the new data didn't come from satellites this time, it came from below. A classified acoustic anomaly, detected by a joint research team, matched the frequency of an aircraft beacon long presumed dead. Not a new plane, not interference, something buried, something that had been whispering from under the seabed, and ignored. Malaysia's transport agency acknowledged receipt of the data. Once. Then suddenly, no further comment, no press release, no follow-up. And the question echoed louder than the signal itself. Why go silent now, when the ocean has finally spoken? The ocean keeps no secrets forever, but sometimes it whispers them through machines. When Malaysia's silence began, it wasn't political, it was procedural. A protocol triggered by what their analysts saw inside an unmarked research feed. A pattern. Regular. Rhythmic. 37.5 kilohertz. That's the heartbeat of a flight recorder, the distress frequency every black box in modern aviation emits when submerged. It's designed to last 30 days, not 12 years. So when an autonomous deep-sea scanner registered that sound again in late 2025, nearly a decade after the last confirmed signal, the system flagged it as impossible. But it wasn't an error, it was evidence. The reading came from a vessel operating far from any flight corridor, a hybrid research ship mapping tectonic ridges west of Australia. Its sonar system, upgraded with a synthetic aperture array, could scan beneath the seabed, not just along it. Every pulse from the array painted a cross-section of silt and stone, turning sound into vision. For weeks, those scans showed nothing unusual. Then, one night, the array captured a harmonic echo buried 4 kilometers down. Too uniform for geology, too perfect for coincidence. When engineers plotted the source, the coordinates aligned within 20 kilometers of an earlier detection, the Haijun 01 anomaly from 2014. 2 readings, 11 years apart, same frequency, same trench. Coincidence or confirmation? Analysts performed a waveform correlation test, comparing the new signal's oscillations against archived black box pinger data from Boeing 777 units. The match? 94.3%. Statistical probability of random mimicry, less than 1 in 10,000. Still, science demands restraint. A frequency is not proof. It's a question, and that question can drown if handled too loudly. So they kept it quiet. Malaysia acknowledged the detection, then sealed the report under Maritime Intelligence Classification. Officially, unverified anomaly. Unofficially, potential black box resonance. To verify it, the research consortium authorized deep penetration acoustic mapping, a method using overlapping frequencies to reconstruct subsurface structures. Think of it like medical imaging, but for the seafloor. Sound waves replacing X-rays, the ocean itself acting as the film. Each pulse mapped density variations, sediment, basalt, and something metallic. A hollow cavity, roughly the size of a cockpit voice recorder housing. The outline measured 12 meters across, too small for a full aircraft, too precise to be random terrain. Then came the second anomaly, a secondary reflection offset by 20 milliseconds, a double echo, meaning the signal was bouncing between 2 metal surfaces before escaping the sediment. Metal inside metal, like a recorder inside wreckage. When this data reached Malaysia's Transport Ministry, the public expected transparency. Instead, they issued a single line: new analysis under review. No comment at this time. Then the channel went dark. No press briefings, no follow-up interviews. Even the lead oceanographic subcontractor scrubbed their project webpage within hours. Why suppress a potential breakthrough? Was the signal misinterpreted, or was it too precise to control the narrative? Investigators now suspect this isn't a new transmission, but a residual echo preserved in the sediment, activated by shifting tectonic stress. A mechanical memory, reawakened by movement. If true, that means the black box could still be intact. And if it's intact, the data inside could rewrite everything we thought we knew about that night. For now, all that exists is a sound. One tone buried beneath 4 kilometers of ocean and 11 years of silence. But if that tone belongs to MH370, then the ocean has not forgotten. It's been waiting for someone to listen properly. Before the signal returned, there was only silence. A silence that lasted 11 years. Across oceans, across time zones, across hundreds of families who never stopped listening. Every March 8th they gather, some at memorials, some in quiet kitchens. They stand beside empty chairs and talk to the sea. They say, "If you can hear us, come home." Hope doesn't vanish. It corrodes, slowly, like metal beneath the waves, but it never breaks completely. When word spread of a new signal coming from the depths, 37.5 kilohertz, the black box heartbeat, hope trembled back to life. Not shouted, whispered, Because after so many false leads, even hope can become dangerous. A mother in Beijing checks her phone every night at 1:21 a.m., the minute the transponder went dark. She says she does it to remember the sound of her son's last message. Boarding now. A father in Kuala Lumpur still wears his airline guest tag from that night. The barcode's faded, the fabric frayed. He calls it his proof of existence. When the 2025 detection leaked, thousands of ordinary people began analyzing it themselves. They opened spectrograms, measured intervals, compared harmonics. Families became researchers. Grief turned into data work. A message board that had been dormant since 2018 reactivated overnight. Its first post simply read, "It's back." And in that moment, science and sorrow became the same language. The engineer who caught the signal, a Malaysian hydroacoustic technician in his 30s, later admitted that when he heard that perfect 1.00-second rhythm, his hands shook. He had grown up watching the search on TV. He said, "It felt like the ocean was answering back." He didn't call it data. He called it a reply. To the scientists, it was a frequency match. To the families, it was a heartbeat. Both might be right, because when loss lasts this long, truth isn't measured in decimals. It's measured in time. Every second of signal means another second their loved ones still exist somewhere in the data. When the research ship prepared its first dive, the crew performed a quiet roll call, not of instruments, of names. They whispered, "For the 239. And when the first sub entered the water, one of them said, "Let the sea remember." As machines descended, the families logged on to watch. Their homes filled with the sound of sonar, a rhythmic ping that no longer felt mechanical, but alive. They streamed it for hours, listening for a change in tone, as if grief could hear itself reflected in the water. A psychologist studying the phenomenon called it technological mourning, a new ritual for an age where we no longer bury bodies, but wait for data. The ocean and the human heart both pulse at roughly once per second. And in that coincidence, maybe there's meaning. Because for the first time in 11 years, both were beating in sync. Somewhere beneath 4,000 meters of pressure, a voice still answers. The moment the new signal surfaced, the story split in two. Was it real? Or was it noise? 11 years of silence had made the world skeptical. Every tone, every echo, every rumor had been tested, and most had broken under scrutiny. But this one refused to fade. Two pulses, 11 years apart, identical rhythm, identical coordinates. Coincidence or confirmation? When the correlation report leaked, forums lit up overnight. Aviation experts, hobbyists, even families of the missing, all drawing the same question in bold text. If the signal matches MH370's black box, why hasn't Malaysia said a word? The first theory came from the scientific side, the skeptics. They called it a ghost echo. According to them, acoustic waves can bounce between tectonic plates and mineral ridges, creating harmonic reflections that seem deliberate, but aren't. Temperature gradients, pressure zones. Even submarine cables can warp the signal path. So maybe, they argue, the sound wasn't from a black box at all, but from the Earth itself. A natural hum that happened to mimic a man-made heartbeat. But here's the problem. The ocean hums irregularly. This signal didn't. Its interval was perfect. One pulse every second. No drift, no decay. Nature, for all its beauty, rarely keeps time that precisely. The second theory is harder to dismiss, and far more unsettling. What if the signal really did come from MH370's flight recorder? The device's battery was meant to die after 30 days. But under extreme cold, low oxygen, and immense pressure, chemical reactions slow. In theory, lithium decay could stretch for years. But a decade? Impossible, unless something reawakened it. Some models suggest shifting sediment or a minor seabed quake could have cracked open the casing, reactivating residual circuitry for mere hours. A mechanical afterlife. If true, the black box didn't send a new signal. It remembered an old one. A memory replayed by pressure and chance. A voice the ocean accidentally pressed play on. But there's another theory, the one no one wants to say aloud, that the signal isn't an accident of physics, but a decision. In this version, the anomaly was triggered. A deliberate acoustic release, sent from a classified research array, timed to coincide with the 11th anniversary of the disappearance. A test, or a warning. Conspiracy? Maybe. But history remembers how information has been managed before. In 2014, China's early detections were dismissed as false positives. A decade later, they appear almost prophetic. Now, Malaysia's sudden silence after confirming the new detection feels familiar. The same pattern of deflection repeating itself. Some insiders whisper of strategic quiet. The belief that confirming the wreck's location could expose deeper truths about international data sharing, military radar coverage, and the blind spots nations still don't want to admit exist. Because if MH370's path was known, even partially, and no one acted, the silence wasn't ignorance, it was choice. A fourth theory, more technical, less political, claims the 2025 signal may not be new at all. It could be a data artifact, a replay of old sonar telemetry reprocessed by updated software. In that scenario, the ghost is digital, not acoustic, a computational mirage created by the machine's own hunger for patterns. But if it were a software glitch, Malaysia could prove it easily. Release the raw data, show the timestamps, end the debate. They haven't. And then, there's the quietest theory, the one whispered inside labs and briefing rooms, that the data is genuine, that MH370 has finally been found, but that the truth of how it ended may not be something any nation is prepared to confirm. If the flight's path was controlled from inside, if the descent was deliberate, if the evidence contradicts years of official models, then every previous investigation becomes suspect. To confirm the wreck would be to reopen the wound and admit that for 11 years, the world may have been searching the wrong story. 5 theories, 5 explanations, each logical, each incomplete. Some blame the ocean, some blame machines, some blame men. But the sound beneath 4,000 meters doesn't care who's right, it just keeps repeating, as if waiting for someone to listen long enough to hear what it's really saying. And if that rhythm isn't random, then something under the Indian Ocean is still active, because beneath the silence of governments, the ocean is still transmitting, and what it's saying next could change everything. For months, the signal pulsed through silence, one echo every second. Then, it stopped, and for a moment, investigators feared the ocean had gone silent again. But beneath that silence, something else was stirring. This time, the search wasn't blind. A new generation of autonomous underwater vehicles, a UVS, launched from a joint Malaysian and Chinese research vessel, codenamed Pelagic Dawn. Their mission? To image the source of the signal, not the sound itself, but its origin. Each AUV carried synthetic aperture sonar, magnetometers, and pressure cameras rated to 6,000 meters. Every sweep mapped the seabed in millimeter resolution. Every ping, another layer of the ocean translated into data. For weeks, nothing. Just ridges, fractures, basalt plains. Then, dive 34. A shape appeared, rectangular, metallic. 12 meters long, 3 meters high, half buried beneath shifting silt. At first, the algorithm flagged it as debris. Then, the acoustic profile lit up. Perfectly harmonic at 37.5 kilohertz. It was the same frequency that started this entire search. The same tone that had haunted the Indian Ocean since 2014. Engineers overlaid its dimensions with archived Boeing 777 schematics. The match was uncanny, within 5% of the cockpit voice recorder housing used on the missing aircraft. And then came the impossible part. When the AUV repositioned, a secondary echo resonated. 2 pulses, separated by milliseconds. That shouldn't happen. Not from a dead device. Not after 11 years. But the ocean doesn't care about should. It only cares about physics. Analysts replayed the signal. 1 echo, strong, clean. Another, fainter, slightly delayed. Like 2 recorders pinging from the same burial site. The AUV circled back. This time, the signal flickered. a heartbeat slowed by silt and time. Then a glint, a flash of color against the seabed. Orange, the color of flight recorders, the color of answers. For the first time in 11 years, a camera stared into the trench where the signal lived. Particles drifted like snow through darkness, and there, under 4 kilometers of ocean, a curve of corroded metal emerged, stamped faintly into its surface. Recorder! It wasn't confirmation, not yet, but it was proof of presence. Engineers froze the frame, magnified it, cross-referenced material density and reflectivity. The readings matched aircraft-grade aluminum alloy bonded with composite sheathing, identical to black box casings used on 777s built before 2010. And surrounding it, scattered fragments, curved, hollow, warped by pressure, unmistakably man-made. Every piece aligned with an impact vector descending from the northeast, the same direction as the satellite-derived southern arc predicted in 2014. The math, the physics, the ocean, all pointed to one place, and that place was here. Within hours, Malaysia's oceanographic data portal quietly updated a single line of text. Deep anomaly confirmed, verification pending. Then it vanished. For the scientists aboard Pelagic Dawn, it was the moment they'd spent careers preparing for, and the moment they were told not to speak about. No photos released, no coordinates, only whispers. 4,013 meters, 37.5 kilohertz, orange metal. If what they found is real, it doesn't just close a chapter. It rewrites the book. It means the missing aircraft didn't drift thousands of miles. It never moved at all. It's been there the entire time, buried beneath sediment, still trying to speak. And maybe that's why Malaysia went quiet. Because silence, in this story, may not mean ignorance. It may mean knowing too much. But as the world waits for proof, the ocean has already answered, and its answer raises a question no one is ready to face. If what lies 4,000 meters below the surface truly belongs to MH370, then the ocean has spoken. But what it's saying may be far greater than one lost plane. Across ministries and labs, the new discovery has triggered more silence than speech. Malaysia has withheld coordinates. China has stopped issuing updates. Even partner nations have deferred comment, waiting for someone else to speak first. Because confirming what's been found could expose more than wreckage. It could expose what was missed, the warnings unheeded, the data ignored, the blind spots no one wants to claim. For the families, this moment is not closure, it's confrontation. The ocean may finally tell them where, but not why. And after 11 years, why is all that's left. Some believe Malaysia's silence is bureaucratic caution. Others believe it's fear. Fear of what full confirmation would mean for aviation, diplomacy, and trust itself. Because if the signal is real, it means MH370 never left the coordinates China reported back in 2014. The wreck was there the whole time. We simply weren't listening in the right way. That realization cuts deeper than any discovery. It means the greatest mystery in modern aviation may not have been unsolvable, just unheard. And that raises a larger question. How many other truths have we mistaken for noise? For years, we searched the sky for answers, but the truth was waiting in the deep, patient, unchanging, eternal. Now, as technology reaches where human senses cannot, we face a paradox. We can finally hear the ocean. But do we have the courage to understand what it's saying? The sea remembers everything. But memory is nothing without meaning. And somewhere beneath those waves, that meaning still waits. The ocean keeps calling. The only question now is who will answer.